Hi guys, so I said before that the British people are willing to open both their hearts and their doors to refugees from all over the world, and at the moment the biggest influx from Europe is those from Ukraine. However, it seems that kindness is being taken advantage of by the British government, and once again, just like in the pandemic, the responsibility is being offloaded onto the British people. Louise Calvey of Refugee Action spoke to LBC about how there needs to be support for the infrastructure. It can't just be a case of relying on the British public to do the heavy lifting. However, due to many years of underfunding and the haphazard way that Priti Patel has been dealing with this crisis, we may see serious problems further down the road.
Good afternoon, Ben. Our initial response is one of surprise. We've in the refugee sector found out all of this information this morning via watching the news outlets. Really disappointing that we haven't been able to collaborate on the development of this programme. Obviously, refugee community sponsorship already exists in the UK. There are already infrastructure around that. There are safe mechanisms to try and introduce sponsor families to refugees needing sanctuary. It's surprising that the government haven't chosen to use any of those pathways. And as you said yourselves, this doesn't seem to be part of our plan. It seems to be the entire plan for offering safety to Ukrainians. And your caller just now, Rob, demonstrates the real problem with nationality-specific responses here, because Ukraine itself hosted significant numbers of refugees and other displaced people, particularly some of the Syrians that had fled previously. You know, many were resident in Ukraine. So we need to see the details of this scheme. We need to urgently understand the safeguards in place for this scheme. It worries me enormously, the idea of delivering this kind of scaling up at this type of pace in a safe and sustainable fashion. Bottom line, we need refugee and asylum protection systems in the UK that are well-resourced and able to respond to emerging need. We're still not seeing that from government. We're still seeing them tinker in the margins of visa systems and now asking the community to provide a response that they're not prepared to do. We don't think that's acceptable.
As I said before, it's about offloading responsibility onto the public. If we look back at this crisis, at the beginning, the UK government was, well, you know, we're far away, we don't need to deal with this problem. And, you know, it's then it moved on to, okay, we'll put in a visa system. You know, people are fleeing war. They don't have the documents with them. They don't have utility bills with them. Then recently it seems that there was a change and the visa system had been suspended. And it was just arrive with a passport. But then it seems that there's been a U-turn on that. And once again, it's hard to tell what way the UK government is turning. And I've been following this on and off. But imagine a refugee who's trying to understand, okay, do I need to apply for a visa? Do I need to go to the British Embassy? Do I go to the embassy in Poland? Is there an office there? Do I have to go to Calais? Do I have to go to Paris? Do I need to go to Brussels? How the hell do I do this? How do I fill in these forms? And there are people in the UK who want to bring family in and they don't know if it's possible or not. And now it seems the response is, okay, we'll offload responsibility onto the public. And as Louise here has said, there are structures in place. The problem is that they're not being funded. And this, along with the, you know, we have to go back to the way the Tory party operates, about keeping racists and bigots happy. The toxic environment, another part of that. And I think something also very important that Louise raised here is many of the Ukrainians coming in are people who also were previously refugees. So there are Syrians who came to Ukraine after the war, and they want to seek refuge in the UK as well. So what sort of hoops do they have to jump through? Now, once again, it's wonderful that there are people in Europe and in the UK opening their doors, welcoming people in, but it's important that there is an infrastructure to support that, because opening your doors and welcoming people into your home is good, but many of these people are suffering trauma. Many of these people need other types of support. And it's important that there is a refugee infrastructure in place to help people. Otherwise, you're going to see problems, as I said, further down the road, where there is a conflict within the household. There are mental health issues that need to be resolved. You know, a lot of these people may want to stay in the UK, may want to find a job. Some of them may want to return when Ukraine is eventually being rebuilt. There are many things that need to be sorted out, and it's important that there is a well-funded refugee system, an asylum system in the UK. And unfortunately, I think people like Priti Patel and her supporters don't want to do that. They don't want to put the money into that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.